Hey, do you carry a flashlight? That's what I want to talk about today. Welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Welcome to all the new people, both on YouTube and on Patreon. It's good to have you here. I don't know if there's anything in preparedness or survival that is talked about more than flashlights. And I want to talk about them a little bit today. And really what I want to do is get your opinion on them. Now, where do I want to start with this? I made a video some time back, hadn't been that long, a couple or 3 weeks probably, about why I hated O-light. Well, I don't hate the whole thing. I mean, they put out good light. I hated the fact that it kept turning on in my pocket. And I got, I got a lot of comments about that. I had a lot of people say, yeah, I know it turns on in my pocket. I'll never use it again. I'll never use them and whatever. And my point wasn't to smash them so much as it was to voice my irritation, and I'm not going to carry it. And then there were others who said, well, you got to do this, and then you got to do that, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. Well, I'm not a techie, and I don't intend to become a techie just to be able to carry a flashlight. So, all these things that you got to go through. I want a flashlight that I can push a button on, it'll come on. Push a button, it'll go off. I have a couple of flashlights here I'm going to talk about. Just to give you kind of a sense, what I really want is for you all to let me know what you think about these things. Now, me and flashlights go back a long ways. Okay, I think from the time that I was a Cub Scout, which has been many moons, my two favorite things were knives and flashlights. And I think most boys are like that. So I carried a flashlight, everywhere, and carried a knife from the time that I was very young too. Maybe someday I'll talk about knives. They've always been tools to me, not tactical equipment or things. They're just a part of me. I've always carried them. When I was in law enforcement, of course, I carried a flashlight. It was very important to us back then. And back then, we carried what was called Kel lights. And until just a few minutes ago, I didn't know if Kel lights and mag lights were the same thing. I know mag lights are the big thing now. I've seen them for years. I've never had one. I've always had other lights. But I said, well, those look like the old Kel lights. And so I just looked it up, and it turned out that many, many moons ago, Kel light was bought by or folded into Stream light. And I guess mag light is something different. But the mag lights are very much like the old Kel lights. The Kel lights came out as kind of a replacement. They were for cops. They were heavy duty. They were unbreakable. You carried them instead of a baton. And back in my day, many of you won't understand this reference. Some of you will. Back then, we carried saps still. You remember saps or lead-weighted gloves? Okay, those for you newer people, and for the more timid, please don't faint at this. We carried a leather-covered lead. It was called a sap. It was just a little thing you put in your hand, and you used it to smack people on the head with when you wanted to take them out. That's how we handled our districts. That's how we handled the streets. We did things pretty much on our own, and we had to. And so anyway, or the lead-weighted gloves. I never wore those, but they were gloves with lead sewn into the knuckles there, because you took care of a lot of stuff on the street. I know that seems barbaric nowadays, but it worked. And I never wore the sap gloves. I always wore a pair of handball gloves, and just because they were padded here in case I needed to grab something, and they, in case I need whatever, they protected my hands. I'll just put it that way. But we carried the old Kel lights, and they could do a number on pretty much anything that they came into contact with. And when you got out of the academy, the first thing that all new coppers did was they bought themselves a 5-cell Kel light, right? Because they were ready to go. And those things were heavy. I mean, they were heavy. And when you got a little more experienced at, in your job, and you became a little salty, usually you went down to about a 3 cell, because you knew you could handle yourself with a 3 cell. You didn't need all of that, because you weren't blocking things with it. You were just using it to strike with. So that's what we carried, and then for years after that, I still had a Kel light, and I don't even know what happened to it. It went the way of an old K-bar knife I had, and maybe it'll bubble up some day out of a cardboard box somewhere. Who knows? But anyway, so I've carried other lights. I do want your opinion. Now, here are 2 lights. I'm a simple man, like Bill O'Reilly says. I'm a simple man. Here's that old light that I was. Oh, maybe I should tell you why I decided to talk about this. I got an email a couple of weeks ago from one of the flashlight companies, Through Night. Just to let you know, just full disclosure. Through Night, got one. They said, "Hey, would you like to, I don't know, be involved in a cooperative marketing with us and blah blah blah?" And I said, "No, well, I don't think so. What are you proposing?" They told me what they proposed, and I said, "No, not interested, but thank you anyway." I may buy one of theirs and then tell you what I think of it. I may see what I think, but I don't know, But I'm not gonna do that. But I will give you my opinion on other things. So I like flashlights. Well, first off, let me go back to this one. This is the O-Light. I have figured out a different way to carry this. The only problem is I can carry it in my Duluth fire hose pants. I can carry it in certain pants where there are different areas to stick it, so it's not round in my pocket, with everything else. Because essentially, I guess that's what sets it off, being in there with other things. But what I don't like about that is because I'm not always wearing Duluth or one of my other tactical looking pants. Oh, with the side pockets and all that. And I don't like changing what I carry every day, my EDC, which I never call it EDC. I call it what I carry in my pockets. And I don't like changing because, I've kept the same things in my pockets for years. And whether I'm wearing that or whether Kelly they'll tell you, you'd be surprised what I had in my pockets of my tuxedo when we got married. Okay. So wherever I am, I have certain things. And I'll do a video on that someday. But so anyway, this puts out great light. I'm not going to knock their light. Cool little thing. So when I'm wearing certain pants, I can carry this, but that defeats the purpose of my everyday carry being always the same thing, and I like that. I'm a creature of habit, but I know where everything is, everything in its place, right? Place for everything in its place, so that I know that I can put my hand in my pocket and come out with whatever I want to be in my hand without fumbling around for it, okay? So this can be carried sometimes. I keep it on my bedside table most of the time now, and that's so much for O-Light. This thing, and I love cheap flashlights. I got a bunch of Coast flashlights that work just great, and they're bright. And I've seen that the mag lights now, I just looked it up, like I told you, to find out if they were the same thing as the Kel light. And, they're kind of the same, but they're not the same company. And I might pick up 1 or 2 of those in various sizes. But here's one that I love. I've had this little thing. This is the Home Depot brand Defiant that I got. A package of 2 of these for $5.99. I bought a bunch of packages, gave them to people. Figured that they were just toys, gave them to the kids. I've had this thing for 4 years. Keeps on going. I love it. It's been in my pocket every day. And, Streamlight has them. Surefire has them. And they're a little brighter and all that. But this thing's just a workhorse. The ones that I carry, for the most part, the ones that I carry in my bags and in my vehicles and things, I do like a battery, a normal alkaline battery flashlights. And some people will argue with that. But I don't like the rechargeable so much in the case of a grid down situation. And you can go through all the arguments about, well, but you can still recharge them and all that. Well, Okay, depending on why the grid went down, there there may be problems. There may not be problems with your charging stations and things like that. Okay, this is leave it at that. But batteries, and also, there's a question as if an EMP or a CME happened, would the LED lights even work? Well, if you keep some in a protected place, then you will have some that work. But batteries will not be affected by things like that. So, to whereas this takes two AAAs, I have a couple others that use double A's. But my full size flashlights that I carry in my, like I said, my bags and my vehicles, I like them to be interchangeable, and I have some that run on, cassettes of double A batteries. And so I only have to carry double A batteries with me in my bags and in my vehicles and all that, and store them, at home. So that no matter what flashlight I need, it's either going to take a double A, or not this, a triple A, or double A's, and most of them take double A's. So anyway, that's kind of just the introduction of me and flashlights. There's nothing. Well, there are more important things, but having light in the darkness, is I don't have to tell you how important that can be. But I know that a lot of you out there have a lot of experience with flashlights, and I know that a lot of people are going to come on here when they see the title of this is flashlights, because people are interested in, and say, oh, flashlights, I want to learn about it. So this is an opportunity for those of you with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about flashlights to please share it with a lot of the other people who are just getting into things and go, well, I don't know, this is all very confusing. What about flashlights? Okay. I think it's the perfect blend. I gave my little story and my few thoughts on it. I don't claim to be an expert on this stuff, but I have carried them. I mean, I carried them in professional situations for many, many years, and in actual life and death situations in which most people haven't. So that's my thoughts. And give us your thoughts. And like I said, this is kind of the perfect blend of those who have a lot of experience being able to help those with less experience, with me throwing a story in there. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I will be really interested to hear your comments because I want to know too. And I hear so much different information about them. It's not that I'm looking for a new flashlight. I'm happy with the ones I have, but when I buy more, I'd like to have the knowledge you can share with me. Okay? All right. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And having light in the darkness is one of the best ways we can be prepared, isn't it? Okay. You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.